I would like to welcome our panelists. So my first question is for Urvashi. What is the importance of collaboration between government agencies, food producers, and the public health organizations in ensuring food safety?
Thank you for having me here. Pleasure to always be a part of this very, very important summit and discussion. So I think, as your question has part of the answer, that it is absolutely of the essence. Because when we look at food safety and standards, it starts right from when the food is grown to, when it reaches the table and the plate of an individual, right? So you can imagine that there are so many different stakeholders in this. And national, state, there's agriculture, there's obviously a whole host of food safety and standard setting agencies, and public health, as is the title of the session. So I think there's no doubt that it is a very, very multi-sectoral issue, and that is also what adds to the challenges, because we need different agencies to kind of come together and not just set the standards but also implement.
Dr. Khetarpal, what role does public education play in food safety? And how can we improve awareness about safe food handling practices?
Yes, Vani, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to Poshan. And it's a very, very important theme. I think you have been conducting this regularly. And now coming back to your question on how important is it to create public awareness, right? I think most important aspect of, going to implement any program, the first thing is to do the planning. Yeah. And the planning, the first step of your planning should be to create awareness for effective implementation of any program. So awareness, there are various ways you can create awareness. One is community workshops. You can organize various events, workshop, and talk about food safety and hands-on, So those methods you can teach. You can, not only that, of course, social media is a very effective tool. You can do Instagram, Facebook, all those education materials on the food safety. Food safety is very important, as Urvashi very rightly mentioned, that right from the, when the food is grown, so the supply chain and how it is cooked, what is the temperature, the hygiene part, and what is the storage, how do you store the food. Yeah. So these are very important. And secondly, I must emphasize on the school education program. The food safety program should be an integral part of the school curriculum. I'll tell you very important thing, something very interesting also. We should learn from Japan. Japan, in 1947, post-war, they implemented a Dietitian Act in 1947, right? Now, Japan is 1/12 of the population of India, but Japan has 4 times more the dietitians than India. Yeah. Not only dietitians, where in the hospitals but they have dietitians in all sectors. Yeah. Schools, they have dietitians. They have dietitians in various organizations, right? Then one more important thing what Japan has done is, at the school level, during the meal time, it is a proper dining hall. The children, they sit, they talk about the meal, they are taught about the value and the importance of food safety, the hygiene, hand wash. So just imagine at that level, the food is given so much of importance, because the food, 56% of the healthcare issues are because of the diet, nutrition problems, food issues. 56% of the health issues. India is a young country. 65% of our population is less than 35 years of age. Yeah. We need to, go to that level, the young minds, the young children. Yeah. So I think at that level it should be there. We are talking of कि खाना बहुत fast food खाते हैं. Education, awareness, as very rightly mentioned about the previous speaker, they should start at home.
Yeah.
Of course but then sometimes you're helpless. But of course, public awareness is very, very important. And with the public awareness, I think we can do not only that. अगर आप होर्डिंग देखेंगे बाहर कितने भी एडवर्टीजमेंट्स होते हैं, आपको खाने के लिए कि फूड हाइजीन के बारे में कितने एडवर्टीजमेंट्स दिखते हैं बाहर. हम क्या अवेयरनेस क्रिएट कर रहे हैं किसी लेवल पे भी, चाहे गवर्नमेंट या प्राइवेट या जो भी एनजीओ, कुछ नहीं है अभी. People are, just have your own whims and fancies. खाने को लेके people are very sensitive, and we don't bother. Sometimes even if I am aware कि ये नहीं लेना, ये नहीं खाना, नहीं हमारा तो हफ्ते का एक दिन cheat day है, मैं तो आज सब कुछ खाऊंगा. So I think these things, I think the awareness has to be very, very. We should emphasize on awareness. I think this should be the first step on that.
Like Dr. Khetapal very rightly said, that it is very important for us to ensure that the young children, the young generation is eating well. So my next question is for Dr. Dubey. What are the most common safety hazards that consumers, and especially children and parents of children, should be aware of, and how can they protect themselves from that?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this summit. And everyone is aware that this month we are all celebrating the Poshan Maha, and the question you have asked is very, very relevant because as per the WHO data, almost around 1.25 lakh children less than 5 years are dying because of some type of food contamination every year worldwide. So definitely everyone should be aware of the health aspect of and health side effects of the adulterated food and the contaminated food. First is the foodborne diseases are there because of the microorganisms and many diseases like typhoid, cholera that you must be aware of. Then the second thing is because of food adulteration, there are chances of diarrhea, then vomiting, then headache, then allergic reactions are also common. And because of this, many adulterants are carcinogenic, means they can cause cancer, carcinogenic. Then they are genotoxic also. They can affect your DNA and can affect the future generation also in the form of fetal malformations and all. And that's why we should be aware of all the health aspects of the food adulteration, and food safety is very, very important. Thank you very much.
When we talk about overall maintaining quality standards and understanding what food are we eating, the first thing that we should know about is reading food labels, I believe. My next question is for dietitian Anuja Gaur. How can consumers effectively read and interpret food labels to make safer and healthier choices?
Thank you for having me here, Vani. And it's a pleasure to share the platform with the stalwarts. So food labels is something where we need to be educated on the salt content and the calories and the fats. That's where the obesity problem is cropping up among the young children. And educating about reading the labels in schools is again should be a classroom activity where children are just with the drop of the hat, they go and buy chips and other fast food, where children need to be actually educated what are the side effects of eating so much of salt and what is the amount that should be eaten in a total day. And they're ending up 4 times more in the packet of chips. So reading food labels should be introduced at grassroots level because mostly food labels are put up on prepared or semi-prepared foods.
In terms of, like we say that technology now plays a very major role in our day-to-day lives. When we talk about technology, the first thing that comes to our mind is AI. So, Acharya ji, my next question aapke liye hai. Does the use of technology in food production, which includes automation or AI, improve food safety quality, or does it introduce new risks?
You see, what we call as IoT, Internet of Things, or machine learning, or AI, whatever these systems has introduced in the long past, food processing industries in the entire world, they are doing tremendous job apart from India. In India, it has started very slowly. Basically, it is started with supply chain management. Major of the big companies, they are concentrating on AI-based technology in the supply chain management, inventory management. And that is the reason today's, whatever the friends told about this, you will find, if you open the internet, you will find lot of online platforms are available. And every company, they are taking the license for the online sales. So, but today this technology is vital to bring safety and quality of each and every food, starting from agriculture and horticulture. Because our staples, food comprising, now let me just tell you, in the dictionary you will open a lot of definition about what is food and what is safety. In India, safety came around 18 years back by the Act of Parliament that is called Food Safety Standard Act 2006. But in practically it was implemented hardly around 14 years back. And lot of standard, prior to Food Safety Act, there were only 480 product standards were available in this country. But that time, what is the number of food items we are available in those days? But today, FSSAI has made lot of product standards, more than thousands vertical standards, and there are many horizontal standards. Now, lot of work is being done by FSSAI, but now the question of the technology, it is very vital right from selection of raw materials, vendor selections, the raw material quality, you can also put your AI technology to monitor it. Then hygiene and sanitations, that is also very important. In a factory, those who are in every production processes, hygiene plays important role. Whatever the product quality you inbuilt there in terms of taste, that is immaterial. But if your hygiene, factory hygiene, personal hygiene is not there in the process hall, in the factory, then you cannot achieve the desired safety. So that is the reason manufacturers should think about to put AI technology in hygiene, sanitations, process control parameter that can be also done by AI technology. Then ultimately your storage and supply chain. Supply chain, why it is play important role? Because food products are grown, ultimately transported, and finally reaches to the consumer. So in every stage of operations, every unit operations, you have to put your AI technology, but in fact it depends on, because India is highly manpower oriented, your labor laws you have to follow. You cannot eliminate the workers, because for an example, in US, you will find robot is working in the restaurant, but you cannot implement the robot here, otherwise there will be today's unemployment, this unemployment will also increase. So you have to make a balance. Depending on the type of unit operation, where you can put your AI, you can implement for better quality and quality and acceptability.
Vani, 1 second, I would like to add on food labels. The children would also get educated on the various additives and preservatives added to that particular packed food, and what it causes, and the artificial colors, and hidden sugars in the name of some syrups, sugar syrups, hidden sugars in the name of sucrose. All the children will be educated that these are hidden sugars in the packet.
Yeah.
And what would it lead to? Obesity and other diseases.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Urvashi, what is your take on the role that how government can foster collaboration between public health agencies and the food industry to improve food safety practices?
I'll answer that. Just quickly wanted to react to some of the comments on the technology part. I think clearly technology in every sphere has huge potential to benefit in so many different ways. But I think it's very important to also be cognizant of some downsides that it can bring with it. And, like we said, that we have now these apps, we just need to open our phones and it's right there. And we had this incident where I think a young girl lost her life because there was a cake which was ordered from a restaurant, which was, nobody even knew what they were doing in their kitchen on, I think, Zomato. So I think, firstly, these people should have accountability as well, because I think if you are making so much money and you have all these restaurants listed on your apps, then there is a certain accountability, because somebody losing their life is a huge thing, and it's an irreversible damage. So I think that is one downside I see. The other I see is because of social media, and this is true not just for nutrition, also for health in general. Everybody is an expert, everybody is offering advice. And it's very difficult to know as a lay person sometimes that, who do I listen to and who do I not? Everybody is an influencer, everybody has something to say. So I think it's very important that people are also educated, that if you're really trying to get serious advice, then listen to somebody who's a qualified professional, listen to a nutritionist, listen to someone who is qualified to give you that kind of advice. Don't just follow anything you see on a reel on Instagram. So just wanted to mention that on the technology part. On your quickly on your question with respect to the role of the government, I think it's one of the most important roles. And like I said, not just at the national level, but also the state level. But the role doesn't and cannot stop with setting standards, because that's really only part of it. But enforcing those standards, monitoring their implementation, taking corrective action where things are going wrong, and also regularly updating standards, in keeping pace with the very rapidly changing times. So I think all of these, and of course even the intersectoral convergence that I spoke about, I think that a large part of that, the onus does fall on the government. So I think there's a lot that the government has to do in this space. But it has to be, of course, very much in partnership with the private sector, because, like in any other space now, unless that happens, we won't be able to effectively implement our policies.
And also in this era of digitization, where we talk about technology, Dr. Khetarpal, how do you think can digital health technologies improve public health outcomes in India, and particularly for tracking and managing diseases and other health concerns?
We have been talking of AI, and they are very high-end. I think we talk of the basic technology. It's very important to use the digital health tools to monitor your health, first of all. We have these monitoring apps, like I am having, even if I'm not using Apple Watch, not everybody can afford Apple Watch, but in my mobile I have that app, odometry, which can, show that how many steps I have walked today, how many calories I can set the target, that how many calories I would like to burn, and how many I have burned against that, I can match that. So I think these apps are very important, wearable devices. And of course, one more thing, digital health is the most important aspect of digital health is to improve the access of healthcare, accessibility, because these days, we are all going virtual, we are using telemedicine. Telemedicine is a very important tool for improving the access. Even you can access to the remote area, villages, across the world, everywhere. So I think these tools are important, and we must make the best use of these digital health tools. Also, the diseases, if you're talking of, like, there are certain apps, of course, your diabetes status, your hypertension, your cardiac status. You can even have, you can use these apps even for the preventive medicine. Yeah. So the healthcare is actually preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative, and palliative. These are the 5 domains of healthcare. So in all these domains, you can use digital health tools. Yeah.
Dr. Dubey, as a pediatrician, how do you see food quality and safety surveillance a must for kids' health and well-being? And how can parents actually use technology to track their kids' health outcomes?
See, as I talked earlier also, because of the various health aspects of the food adulteration and the food contamination, and parents should be aware of all these things. And uh, if we know about the things, then we can definitely do something about that. Suppose if we know about the artificial sweeteners and artificial coloring agents and the microorganisms and the diseases which are caused because of the contaminated food, then definitely we can guide our children, and we can take proper step how to guide our children what to consume and how much to consume. These all things are very important.
And also when we talk about maintaining quality standards, food handling is a very major aspect. So Anuja, what are the best practices for safe food handling that can help consumers maintain a healthy life and a healthy diet?
After the food comes home, the best way is, first thing is hand hygiene. Then cleanliness of the kitchen area. Then how you store. First of all, it starts with the selection of food in the market. It has to be fresh. Spoiled food should not be coming in the basket. Then after that, the heating process while cooking the food is very important. The temperature for cooking the meat should be definitely more than 165 degrees because we have to avoid the danger zone. So undercooked meat is very dangerous, where vegetables can be cooked in as a form of sautéing or well-cooked vegetables, but they shouldn't be over mushy and overcooked. Then vegetables and other foods shouldn't be reheated again and again so that the nutritional losses are taken care of. And best would be bring fresh, eat fresh.
And also I feel climate also plays a major role when we talk about food handling and ensuring quality standards. So my question was for Mr. Acharya. So how is climate change impacting food safety and public health, particularly in terms of foodborne pathogens and foodborne related diseases?
You see, everybody know about the climate change, and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, they have set that up to 2030, every department has to do a lot of work to bring down the climate change, effects on the climate change. Now you see, because of the climate change, right from agriculture, horticulture, then that is called primary food, then it comes to the processing, then from the processing up to the consumer level. So everywhere there is the effect of climate. Whether it is a marine food, there is an effect of climate. Whether it is, if the humid and hot air, then what will happen? Your food, that soil is getting deteriorated, and the food what are being grown in the plant, that is also contaminated with different types of pathogenic microorganisms. So pathogenic microorganisms, in our food safety, there are 3 hazards has to be eliminated when you are collecting or growing, collecting and processing and packing. So all the parameters, the 3 hazards are to be looked into, that is physical, chemical and biological hazards. Now coming to the context of the food, now almost all the food which has been exported from India as of today, Salmonella's contaminations is more prominent. Staple, Staphylococcus aureus is more prominent in case of staple. Marine food also the same, Campylobacters. So these pathogenic organisms, the climate is playing major roles apart from other food handling, sanitation, hygiene, processing, process parameter. These are there. But apart from that, climate plays a vital role in changing the biological, chemical and physical hazards to the food.
So this is one question that I would like to ask all of you. Like if I would get a buy-in from all of you one by one. What are the key fallouts according to you that pose the greatest threat to public health in our country right now?
I think public health, I would say that it starts from realizing the importance of public health. And I think that is still, we have a long way to go in doing that, you know, it's not just medicine. And I think we are still, we have made some strides, but I think we have to do a lot more to understand that public health is a very intersectoral, multi-stakeholder, and it has its own specialized expertise. I think we need that. And you know, for instance, in when I was working at the Niti Aayog, we were really pushing for public health cadres in every state. That's why, because it's a specialized skill set. And so I think there are many challenges facing us, right, from the environment to non-communicable diseases to mental health. TB is still a huge issue. So various nutritional issues, not just undernutrition, but now we have overnutrition and obesity related problems. So I think the scale of the problems is enormous, but I think if we recognize the importance of public health, we recognize that it's a real speciality, and we develop that expertise at every level, especially in the public system, in the government system, at the central and state levels, then I think, you know, we'll be able to make faster progress.
Dr. Khetarpal, if you would like to add something on this.
I think the key challenges are many, actually there are manifold, but the key important challenges are, again, I would say that lack of awareness and lack of education. Even you see how many doctors are they educating the patients. I know it has to be a collaborative effort. You know, doctors, they will just write normal diet in the hospital when at the time of discharge or whatever diet is prescribed. And dietitian will take over and she will manage everything. But in my prescription as a doctor, whether the diet is a part of my prescription or not, I want to say that every prescription of a doctor should have one last diet, what is to be taken or what is not to be taken, do's and don'ts. So I think these are the challenges. And if we strictly, you know, some of the doctors I see, they are very good. They are very particular because healthy lifestyle is not only the diet. Healthy lifestyle, if you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, it has 6 pillars. Yeah. Like you have diet, you have exercise, you have mental health, you have social health, it's very important, relationships, and of course self-care. Yeah. I think all these pillars of healthy lifestyle is important, and we must educate people about diet is of course the most important. As I mentioned that 56% of the illnesses or healthcare issues are because of the diet issues. I think that this must be focused on, and this is the platform actually you are creating. Not only awareness, you are educating people. Yeah. You know, and there's a lot of brainstorming sessions happening. There are billion sessions happening. People are talking, and I'm sure that there will be some key takeaways, you know, by the audience.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Dubey?
Again, I would like to appreciate, and the first thing is that the lack of awareness is the most important point. Then other points are we are focusing more on treatment, and we are less talking about the prevention of the diseases. So vaccination should be part and parcel of any treatment program. Whenever we are treating the patient, we should also educate the patient about the vaccination and the hand hygiene. How can we prevent that disease? That is. Then government is doing all programs and all, but they are planning all the programs. But the main is the implementation and how these programs are reaching the grassroots levels. Are they reaching the needy person or not? That is also a big challenge. Suppose government has planned something, and if it is not reaching the poor people, then there is no use of planning such a huge program. And again, the population and the poverty, these all things are definitely a big challenge for our public health. Thank you.
Anuja?
The biggest challenge of these times is tackling obesity among children, among adults, and among old people. So educating at, again, school level on healthy salads, low-fat recipes, where it's a part of curriculum where one period maybe in 2 days is taken into healthy eating, where tiffins are monitored with green, whether they are incorporating green leafy vegetables, and educating that obesity leads to various diseases, and obesity itself is a disease.
Health and food both are interrelated. When you are concerned about the food, then the food should be in a judicious combinations, and all the department of the central government or the state government of today, whether it is an agriculture department, fisheries department or any other department, those who are dealing with this food, they should provide adequate training and capacity building as well as awareness right from the farmer level. Because what is happening today, have you thought of orange is contaminated with lead? Means there is a presence of lead in orange. So these heavy metals are found in different types of fruits and vegetables. Pesticide residues is very, very high because the farmers, they are not being trained the usage of pesticides. Even they are using banned pesticides, which is banned in this country. Now, so all the department, even feed. Have you thought of, because I am not telling, because everybody are literate and they are aware of the food. You see, feed. There is no control about the feed. Now the poultry, they are getting poultry. The chickens are being fed by poultry feed. Cows, buffaloes, they are being fed by the feed. And what is the amount of antibiotics present in the feed? No control is there. So until unless all the department, they will work on it to find out a judicious approach, then only the food security problem will be solved, the safety will be solved, and consumer will be happy.
So, Vani, I would like to also put this point where everybody has to be educated that the term healthy is rather misused. That any overweight or obese person is referred to as thoda healthy hai. So healthy means being close to the ideal body weight, ideal BMI, and free from diseases.
Yes. So on this note, I would like to thank all my speakers for being here today and sharing such great insights.